Alrighty, guys, welcome to another episode of NOVAtazz Automotive Podcast. We have Ken from Ignited Garage. We have Nikolai, which is what, your own channel, right?
Nikolai. Same name it's on, and Nikolai Wars. What?
Actually, you're not moving. I don't know why. Anyway, so we have Nikolai, and he has his own channel. He does some dirt track racing stuff and some other things. You're not. So I do believe I saw Pilot in here, maybe? I thought I did. He said he'll be, over here it says he'll be in and out. Oh, that was way early. It's marked at 6:52. So today will be my last live stream recorded while still working at my old job. Technically tomorrow is my last day, but it's also Martin Luther King Day and a paid holiday. I got one more paid holiday out of my work before I quit. Actually, the last job I actually had to be at work was Friday. And I didn't even do that shit on purpose. I was just like, the new job called me up and said, hey, when did you want to start working? We have a class starting. We have a new orientation class starting on the 21st, and we have a new orientation class starting in February the 17th. And I looked at my freaking thing, and I'm like, well, 2 weeks. Well, when they called me, it was the Tuesday, the end of the day Tuesday, 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, I can still call within my 2 weeks notice if I go over there right now. So I put in my 2 weeks. It wasn't until later when I looked at my schedule that I realized, oh crap, well, that's my weekend off. And Monday I don't have to go into work because it's Martin Luther King Day and I have that holiday paid.
That's
damn, my last day is Friday. I get a 3 days off before I start my new job, and I get paid one of them. So yeah, I got another paid holiday out of the deal. But yeah, I start my new job, and hopefully this job where I'm going is more of a flexible schedule, and I can technically work from home. So I should be able to. All right, who's playing the video in the background? I can technically work from home. Somebody's watching the live stream while they're. Unless it's me.
I know I've got mine muted. I'm watching it, but I've got it muted so you can't hear it.
Maybe it's Nikolai.
No,
Somebody's well, it just depends. I just heard my voice in the background, which means that somebody was playing it. Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, it was definitely me. I just see it.
The other thing you can do, if you want to be able to do that and not have to worry about it playing when you're joining a live stream, if you want to see the chat, you can actually click up in the top right-hand corner, the 3 dots, and use a pop-out chat. And then all you got to do is close.
Yeah, I got it here.
Yeah, then all you got to do is close the window playing the video, and you'll still have the pop-out chat. That's what I do. Because that's muted. Oh, so I don't even know if there's anybody even in here. It says we got 4 people in here, but that could be all of us 4. But anyway, so
I'm not streaming off.
So I am, like I said, I start my new job on Tuesday. I should be able to get more time out in the shop because it's actually closer. So I can, and it's even closer to where my truck is at. It's only like 20 minutes away from 30 minutes away from where my truck is at. So I could literally shoot down from work straight over to the truck if I need to, get a couple things done, and then still make it back home without it being too late. Versus where I used to work. Where I used to work, the shop was an hour and a half from where I worked. So by the time I got out of work, even if I went straight to the shop, I wouldn't have gotten to the shop till like 6:30. By the time you start doing anything, you got to turn around and go home because it's also like 30 minutes away from home.
Yeah.
So like by the time I get started, I'd have to clean up and head home. And if I had to do something outside, forget it. It's already dark.
Yeah.
So The job being closer is a lot more benefit for a lot of things.
That's good.
Woo, that first sip of Guinness always freaking kicks you.
I don't drink McGuinness.
Huh?
I haven't drank McGuinness. I'm not a fan of it.
Oh, I love Guinness. It's my first beer I ever had was a Guinness.
Nice.
So like everything else after that is just like fucking piss water. After you drink a Guinness, everything after that, it's like you got to think about it. If that's your first taste of beer, you can't tell me that going to a Corona after a Guinness and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's like got nothing. It's got no flavor to it. It's nothing.
See, what I find funny is going from up here in Canada to the States to drink beer, and then I'm sitting there drinking 4 or 5 of them and not even feeling a buzz.
What, down here?
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Just when I go down there, it's usually like Budweiser's or something. But
Ew, gross, ew.
But up here, it's a lot stronger.
If you're going to come down here and drink, you need a Yingling. I mean, you drink a Yingling. Drink, well, not even a Heineken, because Heinekens really aren't that strong. But drink a Yingling. Drink a Boston Lager. You know, you got to drink a beer with some gusto to it. Like I said, my first beer was a Guinness, so everything after that it just gets weaker as you go down.
I'd rather drink Jack Daniels than beer. So.
Oh, I'll drink Jack straight. I'll drink Jack straight out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Were you here when I was drinking what was in this bottle?
No.
I got 2 guesses. I know what it is.
Moonshine.
Right, yeah, it's true. It's North Carolina Shine. No, fuck no.
Oh, this
was true North Carolina Shine. Not the store-bought stuff. That was the open it up next to a painted wall and you watch the paint drip off the wall. So, I mean, yeah, again, like I said, once you have shit like this and Guinness and, you know, the other stuff is just kind of weak. So, you've been doing a lot of live streams here, Ken, and I heard you just hit a milestone.
Yes, sir.
1,000 subs. Congrats, man.
Thanks, buddy. I finally hit it.
Yeah, you finally got good enough to be on this channel, right?
If you say so.
No, I'm just teasing. Just teasing.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, we got everybody on this channel. I've had some big names on this channel. I've had some tiny names on this channel. I mean, geez, Rust Belt Mechanics on this channel. A few, normally in the chat, but I don't know where everybody's at tonight.
No, I don't know.
Normally I have people. Is it showing up that I'm live?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says.
Wow, that's actually pretty low. Yeah, that's pretty low than from where I'm normally at. You are in here, and you haven't. Like normally I have like maybe 8 or 9 people in here. I don't know. Again, maybe you can let your people know that you're over here chilling with me. Maybe they'll pop in here. Oh,
Yeah,
but
I'll do that. Hang on a sec.
But anyway, so you hit 1,000 subs. How long does that take you to do that?
2 years.
Yeah, I've been actually making videos since 2014. But I didn't really make a big effort into. Actually, it was 2013 or 2014, but I didn't make a really big effort into pushing content until like 2015. And then, of course, I died down again after my divorce, and I picked it back up again around 2017.
Yeah.
But again, there was no big issue pushing for subscribers until the beginning of 2018.
No, I've been kind of milking it, if you want to call it that. I've been doing it here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah,
so.
you were being consistent because you were having some car issues and things like that too.
Yeah, some health issues.
Yeah, but I mean, like me, like before YouTube put their new rules with the 10,000. Actually, it was originally 10,000 watch hours, or it was 10,000 views, and that was it. It was just 10,000 views. There was no subscriber thing. That's when I first started. Once you hit 10,000 views, you could be monetized, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said, like, I think I hit like 10,000 views back in like 2014. Then they put out the thing where you had to have, what was it, 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. Yeah. I completely was killing the watch hours, man. I had like 18,000 watch hours, but I had only like 200 subscribers.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here like, I've been monetized for like 4 years now. And I'm just like, oh. So I like scrambled, man. I was like blasting myself everywhere, man. Every single web page that had anything to do with the content that was on my channel, I was spamming the shit out of those pages. I was spamming the shit out of my own personal page. And we made it. We made it to 1,000 subscribers by like freaking 15 subscribers by the time the deadline hit.
Yeah.
And then at the beginning of last year, they had the what do they call that? The purge. And I was up to 1,500 subscribers at the beginning of last year. In fact, I had just done a 1,500 subscriber giveaway, which Alan, if you remember him, he used to have AC Camaro 2017.
Yep.
Or AK Camaro 2017, which he's now something Apocalypse, Revenge of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And he had actually won my 1,500 subscriber, and we went up and we did a video together and all of that fun stuff. Which that Mustang's pretty badass for a little V6. It's pretty badass.
Nice.
So we had just done that video, and then like freaking 3 weeks later, they freaking do the YouTube purge and drop me down to 1,024 subscribers.
Oh, my buddy Joey's in the live stream, bud.
Hey, Joey. Yeah, I remember him. He was in your chat.
Yeah, he's from Australia.
But anyway, so we had just gotten we came back like this freaking close from dropping below that 1,000 subscriber mark. And remember, I'm still up like 18,000 to 21,000 watch hours. So I'm like killing it in watch hours.
Yeah.
Almost just barely. And this year we are sitting at what is it, 1642?
Very nice. Yeah, it's about there.
Yep, 1642. I have 1,642 subscribers. So literally picked up almost 700 subscribers this year.
Oh, the YouTube purge was back when YouTube wanted to cut every channel.
They do this every year. They do this every year. They do it periodically throughout the year, but you don't really notice it. But once a year, they go through and they clean out any dead channels, any inactive viewers, anybody who they think is no longer watching your channel. So basically, what they'll do is they'll unsubscribe a shit ton of people. Whether, like I said, whether they're dead channels or unactive usernames or whatever, or like I said, they don't watch. They feel that they're not watching your content, which is kind of bullshit because sometimes like I watch content that's not necessarily me logged in. You know what I mean? What it'll do is it'll unsubscribe you, and like for me, I lost 500 subscribers overnight. Just bam, overnight. And that's a third of my channel. And so you got to watch that.
Yes, sir.
Especially since that's coming up soon. The purge for this year is within the next couple of weeks.
Meh.
So it depends on, your subscribers and all that, will depend on whether or not you actually lose any. Some people didn't lose any. Some people lose a lot. I ended up losing like 500. But again, a lot of that could have been just people that subscribed to my channel when I went and did that big push to try to get to 1,000 subs, and then they never checked out my channel afterwards.
Yeah.
And then that's what happened. They just axed them, and that's that. I'm pretty sure I probably won't get hit hard this year because I've watched my subscriber totals and they've had no big spikes or no weird funkiness. It's been about an average climb every, around 20 to 30 subs a month. So.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with me. Hopefully nothing too much, but.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We never want to.
I just got over 50.
You're over 50? You got to start putting out some consistent content. Like I said, when I get this computer up and running, Nikolai, I'm going to need you to come over here so I can help you with your editing skills, so that way you can maybe pick up some tips and tricks to make your videos more engaging and appealing to people watching them. So that way, hopefully, you can gain some momentum. But yeah, because you already do a bit. Do you do anything crazy with your edits there? Ken?
No.
I'm sorry. Let's have a break part.
No, I don't. I don't do a whole lot. I don't know a whole lot about editing. Doing different stuff, so.
Well, I tell you, I learned by what nobody taught me anything. I taught myself. What I ended up doing is just doing a lot of YouTube watching and watching people with tutorials to the video to different editing skills. And let's say I watched something in a video that I liked. Like I'm watching It's Just a Six or Street Speed 717 or another channel, and they do something that I was like, oh, cool, I want to include something like that in my video. Well, then I'll search it and I'll figure out how to do it in my videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll practice it a few times and figure it out, and then I'll start implementing that in mine. Whether it's from fading music in and out to color and lighting adjustment after you're done filming, different stuff. How to make slow-mo shots not look so choppy.
Yeah.
That was a big one that I had trouble with at the beginning because I was like, well, everybody else is doing these really awesome slow-mo shots. How are they doing that? Well, it's because they up their frame rate when they film it. So like, let's say you standardly film in 60 frames a second. If you know that you want to do a slow-mo shot, film at 120 frames a second.
Yeah, my camera only films at 60, so.
Right. So when you slow it down, you're still showing 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
You're showing, you filmed it at 120, but when you slow it down by 50%, you're still showing 60. And that's how they do that. They just film it at always shoot at a higher resolution and a higher frame rate than necessarily if you're going to show the film at a regular frame rate, you don't need to shoot at a higher frame rate, but always shoot at a higher resolution than you plan on showing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you need to zoom in or you need to edit the footage at all, every time you zoom in, you're dropping your resolution. You see what I mean? So if you're filming at 1080p and you zoom in, you may be actually your film quality will drop down to like 480. You know what I mean? Or 720. And so when you go to render it, it's not going to look as nice. But there's a bunch of little tips and tricks and different things. So you did a lot of drifting this year, didn't you?
No, I didn't do a whole lot last year.
I thought I saw a bunch of videos of you drifting.
Yeah, I've filmed a bunch of videos. My car was torn apart, so.
His settings are super weird, or his or her settings.
So wait, you have the white car, right?
Yeah.
And then you have that. Was it a BMW?
we had the BMW. We got rid of it.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, we got rid of the BMW. We traded it for a different car for my fiance that has a roll cage in it. So.
Oh, well, that's safer then, yeah. Joey asked, "What do we film on?" If you really want to know,
What camera's on this downstairs?
film on. This is a Galaxy S5 and an S7. I also film
This is my setup
on my S9, and somewhere around here, I have a knockoff GoPro.
I've got my Sony camera. I've got.
I don't even know where that is. It's in my film bag somewhere, probably.
Sony action camera.
In fact, do you know my friend Pete from Southwest Rod and Customs?
Yeah.
He films on that Sony action cam.
Yeah, I got this, and this thing.
Yeah, he films on one of those. He films on the camera that I used to have, which was the what was that? It was a Sony Handycam. I'll tell you exactly what it is here in a minute. I have it saved on my eBay list in case they ever drop low enough that I can afford another one. They're hard to find now. Sony XR 550.
Wow.
That's what it is.
Where the hell is everyone? There's only 7 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually kind of low today. This is a camera that I used to film on.
Oh, nice.
But you see, they're like $400 still.
Yeah.
You realize that camera came out in like 2010. It was like a $1,300 camera when it first came out. But they're still sought after because that's a 250 gig hard drive on that camera.
Mm-hmm.
A 250 gig hard drive, no flash chips, and it films in night. It has night vision on it, and it shoots in 1080p. So, I mean, and it's also one of the last cameras that have what they call hot shoots, where you can slide a light or a microphone right on top of the camera without having to put a jack into it. Like literally, you just slide it into the slot, and it automatically has power and everything.
Weird.
In fact, I have a actual like camera mount stand or whatever for it. Needless to say, I don't have it anymore. But I mean, I have the stand. I don't have the camera anymore. That's why I've been trying to
picture of the fiance's new car.
Huh?
I'm gonna see if I get a picture of the fiance's new car.
What is it?
You'll have to see. Where is it?
What is Joey? What do you mean by damn just getting it done? Curious as to what you meant by that. Oh, the other essential whenever you're out filming with stuff. Not that this is exactly a good version of it, but always have one of those spare battery packs laying around. One of the is that another BMW? I can't see it. It's really fuzzy.
It's a Subaru.
Oh, Subi.
Yeah.
But like I said, one of the one of the things that you I would suggest you always carry with you when you're out filming are like those like jump packs, the battery sticks or battery blocks.
Yeah. The portable batteries.
Yeah, because if it dies, you could always just plug it into that until you can get back to a battery. But then again, I have a bunch of extra batteries for my GoPro. Now, granted, it's not a GoPro; it's a knockoff, which sucks because the only thing I don't really like about that camera is the battery only lasts like 15-20 minutes.
Ouch.
Now mine will last for hours.
Well, the ACO?
Yeah.
Oh,
One I showed you.
Well, it depends on what you're filming it on. If you're like me, I'm always connecting mine to my phone wirelessly with the Bluetooth because I use my phone to see where the camera's pointing, so I don't have to like be. I'm never using that camera like this. That camera is my let me put it somewhere that I can't get my phone or anything else into. So I use my phone itself as a screen to film it and to play it and to stop it and stuff. Well, whenever you connect one of those Bluetooth, it drains that battery so quick.
I have no idea how to do that.
I have like 4 batteries in 2 of these battery charge thingies. But I missed my GoPro. I had the Hero, was it the Black Edition? I don't know. I had a GoPro Hero 4, and I love that thing, man. That battery would last like an hour and a half. Constant use. And I had like 3 or 4 batteries for that.
Well, I think I'm going to take off, get some editing done.
All right, well, catch you later.
Yeah, I'll message you later on, buddy.
All right.
I gotta go do some editing and watch some TV.
Have fun.
All right, dude.
Flower from your wife's garden back home. Everyone appreciates your artwork, including me.
Oh. You're not. I think your picture's lagging there, Nikolai, but your voice is coming in just fine.
So nice.
1 second.
Let me just throw it up to my phone.
Just letting you know. Which is
I have it
more
running
work.
at 480.
What?
I have it running at 480.
Right. I mean, like your picture is like it freezes in a spot for a little bit, but your voice is coming through just fine. So I'm more worried about your voice in your picture.
All right.
Personally.
Oh.
So yeah, you've been. I saw you just got a new job at the fire company.
Yeah, Tuscarora.
Which one is that one?
That one is out of town more. It's more for water rescue than it is anything.
Okay. Do you guys do a lot of fire calls though?
Yeah,
I want to say there's not too many water rescuings this time of year.
Not this time of year, except for ice fishing, which is really just go out on the ice, get them, bring them back.
Yeah.
So this is what it means. You go in and you experience like other.
I've never done firefighting. I would say that I like watching fire. I am not a fan of running into fire. So I definitely respect what you guys do as firefighters, but definitely not something I want to I want to sit here and do myself. I'm going to do it on my phone.
You probably have no idea.
What do you mean?
You're saying about the whole fire thing. It's not all just.
Well, no, I know you guys do the whole vehicle rescues, all of that stuff too. I know that. But you know, no matter how many vehicle rescue stuff you guys do, or first responder stuff, you still have to fight fires, and that's where I'm like, nope.
Yeah, that's the point. That's what I was saying before we started. I gotta leave my phone on.
Right.
Because the fire over in Shenandoah just went back up, and if they have to pause again, I have to go.
Yeah, I understand that. I gotta figure out why is my phone not charging.
Who knows? Is that the one that flew off the top?
Yeah, but it's got a wireless charger. It's the pad. The pad decides to, because I have it plugged into a junction box. Sometimes the pad doesn't want to power on. I guess it was charging. Oh, so
what was your,
my big announcement?
Go ahead.
My big announcement was that I quit my job.
Yeah, it says it right there.
Right, but it's a fact. It is technically just quit my job. It's like, yeah, that was more of just a clickbaity. Hey, you know, oh my God, he quit his job. Though it wasn't to go YouTube full time, which would be fucking awesome. I quit my job so that way I could start a job that was safer, because the job that I was at was high risk for bodily injury. Hence the pinky that no longer closes all the way or goes straight all the way.
Yeah.
And I have no real, like, it's pretty embarrassing when you have to have your girlfriend open up jars because you can't open it with your hand. Because you no longer have the grip strength in it that you had before.
Weren't you working at a mental ward at one time?
Yes, I was working. It's where I was just quit. I quit it from a mental institution. I had a client literally bend my finger all the way back to my wrist, backwards.
Oh.
Yeah. Needless to say, that hurt like a son of a bitch.
Well, I would have been punched if that was the case.
Right. Well, we're not allowed to. I mean, that's patient abuse. They're mentally ill. I'm not. You see what I mean?
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
This dude, and I don't blame the guy for doing it. He thought I was attacking him. He was having a delusion. He thought I was the devil, and he thought that I was coming to come get him. So, I mean, if you literally thought the devil was, if you thought the devil was coming after you, I would be doing whatever I had to do to get away too. So I don't blame him. Like I said, the dude was psychotic. He was having a delusion. He attacked me, and I did my job. He's safe. Yeah, I got my injury taken care of. You know, it is what it is. But I started a job that is a lot less physically
dangerous,
putting myself in danger. Still working along the same line of work. But I am no longer direct care. I am now a supervisor. So it's a promotion. Not a money promotion, just a position promotion. Which lets me, you know, obviously then I don't have to worry about the physical direct care injury part of it and things like that. And it leaves me a lot more time to be able to.
What is your opinion on that?
Go ahead.
What's your opinion on the new video that I got up here?
I haven't. You mean the burnout one? The burnout for Wyatt?
Yeah, for that little, that little boy.
It was pretty good. I watched a lot of it. But it is a sad story, man. What is he passed away 2 days ago?
2 days ago at 7/17.
7/17 on what 1/16 I think it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
Did you see the other little girl that was on the? I follow the page, the hashtag page for Burnouts for Wyatt. Did you see the little girl that was in the dirt track accident?
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, that was pretty sad too. I've been watching that one, following that one. Now, I mean, the burnout for Wyatt is really a sad case. Nobody likes a kid with cancer. But at least the parents knew, like, that wasn't something that was. Yeah, exactly. They knew for a while that he could possibly pass away and everything else. Now, the thing with the little girl, she was a perfectly healthy little girl, and had an accident at the track. That's something completely out of left field. I mean, yes, there's the risk involved in all of that. And don't get me wrong, if my kid wanted to go freaking racing, I'd be letting him go racing too. But you still got to have that in the back of your mind that, accidents happen.
Just like this, the burnouts for Wyatt thing here, as we're on the conversation here.
Right.
It was up for 3 weeks. The group that I'm on right here. 1 second.
Is it the actual hashtag burnout for Wyatt's on Facebook?
This one right here.
Oh, we can't see what you're looking at.
It's burnouts for Wyatt. On the group, there was 128,000 views, or 128,000 members in 2 days.
Right. Yep.
It brought the car community together.
Well, that's because, and the thing is we had the kid that wanted the race car stickers before him. Like, was it a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
We had that kid, and oh my God, they got so many stickers that they couldn't even use nearly half of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, whenever there's a kid that's sick and there's something that you can physically do to make their suffering a little bit less, you're not going to be able to stop the illness. You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen. But if you can make that kid's life memorable for while they are here, I don't know a single. Well, I shouldn't say I don't know a single. But if you're a parent and you can do something, you're gonna do it because it's just something. At least as being a parent and seeing somebody else's kid suffering, your heart just goes out. You can't help that. I have 3 kids of my own. Thankfully, there is nothing seriously wrong with any of them. I mean, they may have some issues. Like my oldest has ADHD, but then again, I have ADD. So I mean, but that's not life threatening. It's just a difficulty that he has to overcome to be able to stay focused at school. But when there's an illness that is going to cause a kid not to be able to live his full life, your heart goes out. You want to do something to make their existence here not so sucky, because they don't even get to enjoy normal kid stuff. They're in and out of fucking hospitals. They're getting hit with chemo, trying to save their life. Their life is not what you would want to see a kid going through. Now, granted, it can't say that their life is completely sucking, because their outlook on their life, or what they're using of it, is so incredible. You can't help but like I said, want to make it, want to be a part of it. It's kind of like the clients that I work for. I'm going to be working with. I'm going to be working with IDD clients, so like Down syndrome and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if you've ever had known somebody that's had Downs or intellectual deficiency. There are some. My
older cousin has Down syndrome.
They can be some of the sweetest individuals you will ever meet. If they don't bring a smile to you, I mean, geez, their smiles are infectious, because I mean, for the stuff that they're having to go through, they find something good in just about any situation. It's freaking awesome. How many views money has been made to go full-time on YouTube? I know everybody's situation is different. Well, again, it depends. Like, how much money are you used to bringing in? So, like, say if you're used to bringing in from your regular day job, let's say 40 to 100 grand a year. Well, again, depending on your lifestyle, for you to go full-time on YouTube, you're going to have to at least match that income. You're going to have to at least match that income. And you also got to remember, if you go full-time on YouTube, you've got to pay for your own medical insurance. You got to pay for, all the stuff that your job would have covered. You are now going to have to cover that stuff. So you actually should be making more than you make at your day job before you should even suggest going full-time on YouTube. Unless you are one of those lucky people, like an automotive YouTuber that owns his own shop and uses his shop to make his videos. Well, then I wouldn't see you closing your shop just to make YouTube videos, because that's where your content is. But I mean, a lot of these people that quit their day job to go full-time, they're either A, cutting down on their quality of living to be able to make ends meet, just like any other artist out there. Or they are waiting till their YouTube channel has a significant income, that when they drop their day job, they're not really hurting they're just basically back to where they were before they made YouTube videos. I mean, I would not suggest quitting your day job till your YouTube channel is sustainingly making enough to be able to afford where you're living. My YouTube channel is nowhere near that. I don't even want to kid anybody. I could not quit my day job anytime in the near future, unless my channel would miraculously blow up overnight. But even then, I would still be hesitant to just quit my day job, because as big as it goes up is as big as it can crash back down on the ground. That's just the way the thing is. What's popular today may not be popular tomorrow. So,
play example, the YouTube purge that you were just saying about.
Yeah.
You dropped 500 subscribers in overnight.
Now, granted,
Go figure.
the 500 subs to a channel that's able to 500 subs to a channel that's able to do YouTube full time would be nothing. I mean, you're looking at least 50,000 subscribers, at least, and that's bare minimum. I would say you would have to have at least 50. I would say probably more than 100,000 subs to be able to do YouTube full time, unless you have a side hustle. I mean, either way, you're going to have a side hustle. I mean, if you have 50,000 subs, there's no reason why you're not doing merch. There's no reason why you are not doing some sort of alternate income by taking advantage of the audience that you are making YouTube content for. And I don't mean taking advantage of them in a bad way, but I mean, if you have that much of an influence, you should be bringing in sponsorships. You should be bringing in other ways of making money. You know, the content that you're making, if you're doing it smart, should be content that you can then make a profit off of, not only from the YouTube videos, but from physical profit. You know, if you're going to make a build of something, you see YouTubers do it all the time. If they're doing computer builds, well, after the build's done, they sell the parts. If they're making arts and crafts, I know people that build clay sculptures and stuff on YouTube. I watch that all the time. After they're done building the thing, they have an online store for people that can actually buy it on eBay or Etsy or wherever. Again, it's all about having a hustle. If you are strictly supporting yourself straight off of YouTube, I think it's a really stupid idea because YouTube could be gone tomorrow. And if you can't carry your following and switch to a different media source or have a backup income, then I would not suggest quitting your daytime job just strictly to do YouTube. This would be a very poor financial decision. Oh, let's see, comments. Yes, insurance is definitely a very big deal considering in the United States, it is a requirement for you to have insurance. At least those that have a spouse can cover the medical insurance. Yeah, you can sometimes end up on your spouse's medical insurance. Yes, you can. But not everybody. The other part is sometimes when you have a family, it's a lot harder to do YouTube full time, only for the sheer fact of you also have a family to support. It's a lot different when you're a single person, or if you're just like a boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife and no kids. Sometimes it's a little different, and it's a lot easier to be as not tied down to having a 9-to-5. But when you have kids, it's a little harder because you got to think about, you got kids to support. Again, more insurance is needed for kids. And yeah, I mean, if I could quit tomorrow, damn right, I would love to fucking do YouTube full time. But that's not in my cards at the moment. So carry on doing what I'm doing. I'm just hoping to be able to make YouTube content more regularly and quicker with the new computer setup and the new job. I have to do videos on weekends or after hours because I'm busy during the day to do it. Yes, I agree, Grim. That's the same issue I was, and that's part of the reason why I quit my job is because with the amount of time that I had traveling back and forth to work, any day that I worked was out of the question to do anything. Because by the time I got home, it was do dinner, get the kids to bed, and and basically by then it's too late to go out to the shop. Welcome aboard, Jesse. Glad to see you in here. I see Pete's on in here too. Good thing I don't eat much. No, I'm not making a killing on YouTube. Nowhere near. I definitely make more in a month doing my regular full-time job than I make in a year at YouTube. You need a lot of subscribers to make a living off YouTube. It's not a lot of subscribers. Subscribers don't make you
watch hours.
It is watch hours. It is watch hours. It is your CPM. The higher your CPM, the more money you make off of less views. It's the amount of people that interact with your ads as well. If you have a bunch of people that skip through your ads, you're going to make less money than people that click on the ads in your videos. The more people you can get to stay on your channel in a given amount of time, obviously the bigger your CPM is. So there's a lot of factors when it comes to YouTube and how it decides where you're going, what's going to be happening. And again, it also depends on, big businesses and how they see you. If a big business likes you and likes your style of content, they're more willing to work with you, which means at that point you can get better deals on products to use in your channel, which saves you money. I mean, there's a big difference between going out and buying a product to be in your channel versus you wanting a product and a sponsor willing to work with you to get that product to you so you can use that product in your video at a lesser cost. Obviously, anything that saves you money is profit in the end. Fortunately, I buy everything that's on my channel. I don't have any sponsorships or anything. I do have you guys that donate money every once in a while to help me afford things like this, the stuff in this computer behind me. That wasn't all my money that ended up buying this stuff. You guys that watch the videos and donate in the live streams helped pay for a good bit of this. So definitely thank you guys. And the sooner I get this build done, the sooner I can get back to making videos. When I got on the computer today, I got a nice notification on my Alienware laptop that said, guess what? We no longer support your operating system. So this laptop is officially out of date and unsupported from Windows. And that could be a big hit to me because I do use this computer for a lot of other things, even if I can't use it for editing anymore. And this computer over here in front of me is running Windows 8, but it is way too low of a computer to run anything that is CPU or RAM intensive. I mean, just surfing the web and stuff like that, this computer does just fine. But anything more than that, and it is not a very happy computer. What are you using, Nikolai, to do your stuff? Are you still using just your phones, or do you have a computer?
I use the big desktop at my grandparents to do the upload. But, I think that's Windows 9.
Yeah. Oh, there was no Windows 9.
Or no, what is that damn thing?
They went to XP and then they went to Windows 10. And they had Vista in there somewhere too.
I'm pretty sure it's an XP. I know
that's not true, Camaro Time. He says nobody watches it unless it's unskippable. If you have ads turned on to be to what you're interested in, you can. I've had quite a few ads of stuff like video games that I was interested in. I'd be watching a channel and they had the new Doom Eternal ad came on, and yeah, I watched that whole freaking ad because you know what? I've always been a fan of Doom. I've owned every Doom game that has been out since '93, which was what? Doom 1, Doom 2, which was the '95 Doom. Then you had. I know. I lie. I didn't have Doom 64 because that game absolutely sucked. But I had the Doom back in, what was it, 2003, 2006, and I've also had the 2016 Doom. Well, you're not supposed to be watching your own videos because that messes up the algorithm. Just saying. And actually, I think they have a clause in there about not watching your own videos. If I need to watch my own videos, I have the actual legit folder. Or I might watch it once just to make sure that it comes out okay. That it uploaded okay. Let's see. Watch time, share, comments. Yep, there's a whole thing about it. Really think it's the amount of views that make money. It's not necessarily the amount of views. It's the amount of time spent on a channel. You could have 10,000 views, and if they only watched it for 1 minute or 30 seconds, it's not going to make you any money. You can have 10 views where somebody's watched it for 10 minutes, and it will make you more money than the person that watched, that did it the other way. Welcome
Here,
aboard,
I can say
Chris.
this, in the
Go ahead, Nikolai.
What's up? What's up, everybody?
Hold on, Chris.
in
What's up, Nikolai?
the last today, I had 13 hours and 46 minutes of watch time on my channel.
13 hours or 13 minutes?
13 hours.
No way.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
just
no,
right here.
no, I'm sorry. Never mind. That's right. Because I'm thinking 13,000. I watch time hours in thousands, not because, geez, let's see.
13 hours, 46 minutes.
My last upload had 12 hours of watch time. Last week's whatever. Let's see. Channel wise, would you say just the last month?
Yeah.
997 watch hours in the last month. So.
Well, anyway, that's counting this month since that new video came out.
Right.
The new video has been coming out about 2.5 to 3.5 hours.
Let's see. If I go just within the last year, I have 13,600 watch hours in the last year. And lifetime, I have 36,000. 36,000 watch hours. Put that back to 20. All right. But yeah, I mean, it's and that's just numbers. Let's see. Go back to the comments here. By the way, welcome aboard Classic Ride Society, Camaro Time, Jesse Williams, and I do believe there's Mrs. Formula. Who else is in here? Which mouse do I need? Here it is. I thought Ignited is still here, it says. Yeah, it is. Honestly, Ignited, Ken, it is all about selling yourself. You are basically selling yourself to a system, and that is how you're going to grow. You know, you got to market yourself. I'm not the best at marketing myself, just not. I will admit that is one of my not one of my strong suits. Camaro Time, Pete, I guarantee he is good at selling himself. I mean, the stuff that he does in his videos, I love the Pete and Repeat. If you haven't checked out his videos with Pete and Repeat, they are absolutely freaking awesome. He does a skit where he basically has a twin. And spoiler alert, Pete does not have a twin. So his editing skills are awesome. He has a bunch of videos on how to using DaVinci for editing and different things, which I will definitely be rechecking out once I get this computer set up and start using some different editing software. All right, let's officially welcome Chris into the live stream. That he's been in here for like 3 minutes.
I don't want to.
Better late than never.
Right? Sorry, I was on a tangent.
All right. Hey, Sean. Not trying to be rude, but they're calling other companies out of town for that Shenandoah.
All right. Well, you get yourself ready, and all right. That's perfectly fine. You got to do what you got to do, man.
I like how you're ignoring me.
What?
I said, what if I don't want to welcome him?
Chris, Jess doesn't want to welcome you, apparently.
She don't want to welcome me?
Yeah, she doesn't want to welcome you.
That's fine.
He says that's fine.
Okay.
She's not watching the live stream, so she can't hear you. And I have a headphone in, so that way it doesn't. I'm not ending up with that repeating echo.
I'm used to rejection. I got big boy shoulders. I can handle it.
I don't feel too bad. I don't want to welcome Sean either.
He says he's got big boy shoulders. He's used to rejection. He can handle it.
And I've gotten to that point in my life, in my ripe, experienced age, that bullshit about putting your big girl panties or big boy panties on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screw it. Go without, let them breathe. If you don't like to smell too fucking bad, no one told you to stick your nose up my ass in my business.
There is a reason why we have you here every week, Chris. You make some good content.
What can I say?
And
It all comes from getting nearly wiped out and laying on my back for almost 7 months, wondering why am I alive? Why am I alive? And I figured at that point, you know, I'm too stubborn to stop, and too legit to quit. So yeah, here it is. And if you don't like it, well, too damn bad.
Yeah. Honey,
Because
can you turn Markiplier down a little bit? It's having a hard time hearing Chris over top of Markiplier. Yeah, we were watching Markiplier all night. If you don't know who he is, he's throwing around dead people.
Yes.
Oh my god. He's a YouTuber for video games or whatever. He's absolutely a trip to watch. There's a reason why he's as big as he is. But I was watching that before the live stream, and apparently I forgot to turn it down. Hey, I see Grant has made it.
evening, Grant.
Too legit to quit. Yeah, well, that job was a little too legit. Several major physical injuries was enough to wake me up, and then management is absolutely horrible there and really makes you feel like crap for just doing your job. So why am I getting candy thrown at me? I don't even know where it went. Oh, it's a Hershey's bar. But yeah, and I'm not sure if you heard the announcement, Chris. I quit Actually, tomorrow is my last day at my old job, and I don't even have to report to work because it's a holiday.
And I didn't, but I kind of got the heads up on the after show last week when we were talking with Elliot. You kind of give us the pre-release. So hey, congrats, man.
Yeah, it's funny though because I got one last paid holiday out of them.
With pay and didn't have to work. That's the good thing.
Right, it was a paid holiday. I was sitting down tomorrow. I get to sit home, and
stay home. That's worth knocking back a few Guinnesses.
Yeah, I handed in my keys Friday after work. That was my last day of being down there. So Tuesday I start my new job as a supervisor, running a group home for IDD individuals. So
sweet. Now, this unfortunately doesn't, this doesn't put you above Jess where you could be her boss at work, right?
No, actually, we are at the same level.
Yeah, maybe that's a good thing, though.
I think she would rather be above me.
I'm sure. I said, hey, I got the panties and the kitty within them type thing.
Yeah. Chris made that quote. Oh, too legit to quit.
179 miles to Cass. God damn, it feels like I'm getting nowhere today.
That feels like me going back and forth to work.
Trust me, it does today. Today, I mean, ever since. Well, no, I guess it was yesterday. 2:00 yesterday morning. This whole trip has absolutely freaking sucked.
Snow.
It started out as snow across Indiana. By the time I got to Chicago area, it transitioned into freezing rain and ice. And long story short, what's in the truck?
We're gonna start. What's in the truck already? Hold on. Do I have
cracks? No, not so much in the wagon, but there's some nice big cracks in the side of the fairing underneath the driver's door where the four-wheeler decided to use me as a stopping block.
What, a four-wheeler crashed into you?
Yep.
Isn't that
lost
your
it in the ice. Yep. Second trip out.
I'm sure your boss isn't too happy about that.
Oh yeah, he was out spreading shit. So hey, I got some more shit you can spread. It'll just make your night all the greater. When I called him, so what's that? Yeah, four-wheeler decided to take your truck out.
Go around, he's carrying one with him.
And he flipped.
Oh, that's what you got insurance for.
He said, well, I was driving, minding my own business, and he decided to slide underneath the truck. It didn't work.
Well, it's not your fault. Nothing you could have done about it.
But he sure made some nice circles and then decided to pinball his ass end for end off of the concrete Jersey barrier in the center of the highway.
What was he doing
So
on
he
the
got
freaking highway?
stopped. I don't know what the hell he was doing. I think they were drinking. Him and the two girls that was with him are coming from a club or something. Just that time of morning, there wasn't any need for any of them to be out, not in the weather the way it was.
Yeah. What's up, DY Misfit? Welcome aboard. Wow. I'm sitting here watching the analytics, and I'm like, it did this freaking weird shit again. Between 9:30 and 9:40, it dropped all the way down to saying I had zero views. That's hilarious. Your wife said that you had to go down a road that was closed. Chris.
Yeah, I was told to run a different way than what I run.
Why?
See if I can get this done in here.
I take it that cost you time.
Yeah, that cost me more time. I got I got like 2 hours past the accident part, and I'd had enough of the bullshit. I watched another car spin out dead in front of me when I was talking to the boss after I cleared the scene, and end up down in the median. I mean, if there'd been a wall there, he'd have bounced back out in front of me. Then a truck and a car got together and went off the right shoulder, and I said, screw this shit. I'm going to bed till daylight.
That's what I would have been doing.
Yeah, at least I could see the road conditions better in the damn storm.
Not only that, it's
trying to
for your
find
truck.
Yeah. So the boss decided to tell me, I want you to run this way and run this road. If it's snowing and bad, you always go that way. So I went to bed. I was already started on the detour route. Said to hell with it, because the further north I went, the worse the roads were getting. I finally said to hell with it, went to bed for a few hours, got up, and this formula checked all the road route, the routing on the road conditions and that on the state sites where I was going, and pretty much Wisconsin was snow covered in ice. Minnesota was snow covered in ice with blowing, drifting snow. No winter maintenance being done. By the time you got to North Dakota, where the boss wanted me to go, the interstate was shut down for 250 miles.
Oh, fun.
So I said, screw this. I've been wiped out once. I'm turning around going the way I was going to go originally, and he can kiss my ass. You don't like it. You told me I was the captain of the ship and in charge of running the truck. So how about you shut your big mouth, go haul your shit in your tractor, and let me do my job.
Yeah. You know who's missing?
So what do we do today?
Go ahead.
Besides Big E?
What? Oh, yeah, besides Big E's not going to be here tonight. He says he has to run a friend home, which I guess maybe he might be back after he's done doing that for so long. I don't know. No, I'm talking about in the chat. Who are we missing that is always a regular here?
Pilot.
Yes, our good friend 12 o'clock. You know what, Pete? Pete says that there's a guy that was pulling ribs, Chiefs fan that was pulling ribs out of the pocket of his jacket while at the game tonight. That answers my question as to where everybody was at tonight. Because when we started this freaking live stream tonight, for the first half hour, it was just us that were in the live stream. We're in the chat. And I'm like, well, where the hell is everybody tonight? And yeah, in fact, actually, I guarantee it was the first. No, it was the first 10 minutes. And yeah, I forgot. There's a major football game going on, and I don't follow football, so when major sporting events happen on Sunday nights, I don't know that they're happening because I don't follow them. So
We'll do, Grant. Have a good night.
Do what?
I guess he's getting ready to go. I shared those pictures with you in your personal messaging. If you have a way to bring one of those pictures of the car in here, if you want to show why cars shouldn't tangle with trucks.
Oh,
isn't that nice?
That's what the driver's license is, though.
Yeah, that's what I said. You should be able to pull one of those pictures out of there of the car.
I might be able to. Hold on. I really don't like showing my Facebook, so hold on.
Yeah, it might take a little bit of work, but you're the electronics other gizmo expert over there, so I figure you can get it done.
Yeah. There we go. Inboard coming. Hold on.
Cool toolbox.
Okay, yeah, I got it. There you go. Let me move this here. Move this over here. Okay, so there's the front of the car. What is that? A Pontiac?
Lincoln.
Lincoln. I couldn't tell.
Rear-wheel drive Lincoln, whatever the hell model it is.
Oh, not that way.
Yeah, he goofed.
What is it supposed to say? Papa Smurf? It says Papa
First
F.
part, he said he just bought it. Just bought it from his grandma.
Yeah, I'm trying not to freaking show the. You didn't have to send me that stuff.
It was all one file. I didn't have any way to separate it.
I'll have to go back and blur that later. Oh, so yeah. Where did he hit you? I thought you said a 4-wheeler hit you.
Yeah, that's a car.
Yeah, that's not a 4-wheeler.
Well, that's what we call them. 4-wheeler.
Oh.
Car, 4-wheeler, 4 wheels.
Okay, never mind. I thought you were talking about an actual, like, an ATV.
Yeah, ATV. Right, no.
When you say 4-wheeler, I'm thinking ATV.
Right. No, in the industry, any 4-wheelers, a 4-wheeled vehicle, doesn't matter what it is.
Well, there's a big difference between an ATV and a car.
This is true.
That's why I was wondering what the hell was a car doing on the highway.
Yeah, an ATV at 2 o'clock in the morning in an ice storm.
I mean, an ATV. He said a 4-wheeler tried to stuff himself underneath of his brand new truck. Chris just got this brand new semi truck. Like, what was it? Last live stream?
3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay, so 3 weeks ago, his boss got him a brand new semi truck, and this car just decided to stuff itself underneath of it last night. Brand new truck. But anyway,
if I'd have had my other truck, he would have succeeded, because this one has all the steel frameworking for the fairings and the mounts for the fairings behind it. Now the other one just had a set of aluminum steps in the fuel tank.
Oh.
Hung on the side of the frame. Yeah, he would have wiped them out.
Yeah, there was a lot less structure underneath the old truck, I guess, huh?
Yes.
Which normally it's the opposite way when it comes to when it comes to newer vehicles. Newer vehicles have less and less structure in them.
Yeah, for the most part. As far as cars, I mean, the only reason I got it on this is because of the fairing mounts for the fairing.
All right. Welcome aboard, Toolbox Footage. I think that's the first time I've seen you in here, unless I'm wrong. Yeah, I think it was a Lincoln LS Grim. Vehicle has 4 wheels. That's why truckers call them 4-wheelers. Yeah. See, DYI was speaking your same language. I'm not a truck driver, so that's not my first language. So how's everybody in the YouTube chat world hanging out? Okay, second time here. Well, I'm sorry that excuse me. Sorry that I thought this was the first time you were here, but welcome aboard. Always loving new faces. He says it's his second time, so still slightly new here.
So, on a good note, deciding to do what I did, I spent a full night at the house. On the bad note, the new toy that we were going to go play around with because we got snow this past week wouldn't start. I think we got a bad batch of gas. Yep. Because she went and got gas for it when she picked me up. We went home, filled the tanks, and it just, it wouldn't even, we couldn't even get it to fire over. I mean, it's got spark, but.
No fuel. What about the carburetor might be gummed up?
I run fine the last time. I said, when we unloaded and run it, it was perfect. This stuff just smells stale.
Oh, okay, yeah, probably is bad gas.
Yeah, I think it's been sitting in their tank a while or has some water in it. It's just
Yeah.
so that's going to be a headache to drain the tanks, clean the system to try to re-go again. But
Toolbox, what's on the block tonight on the Jackson auction? All right, we'll catch you back here when you come back, DYI.
it didn't help that it was 5 degrees outside, probably either.
No, probably not. Did we do actually what's on your truck instead of what's under your truck?
Yeah, you got a new segment. What's against the truck, right?
I think that was what's under the truck, wasn't it?
Yeah, under or against, I mean.
What ran into the truck this week? I don't think your boss would like that segment too much.
Nah, probably not. I know I didn't.
But we'll do what's in the cup here in a little bit. But let's do what's in the truck there, Chris.
What's in the truck is pretty much the same mixture we always have. Clam juice and clams, deli meat, beef sticks, jerky sticks, cheese, eggs.
Yeah. No pears today?
And no, that won't be till when we come back. The fresh fruit.
What was the other thing that you carried that was really fucking weird that 1 week?
The asparagus roots.
No. Did you have like a whole shit ton of wine the one time?
Yeah, I had some wine the one time. European wine and that cheese, and the European cheese that makes Limburger smell perfect. It would make Limburger smell like Velveeta. How's that?
Ugh.
That's how disgusting this European shit is.
Sure,
and it's little tiny squares and cakes. They're not even a big block of cheese. That's disgusting. And ironically, the name of the company is Fond du Lac, and I tell them every time I go in there, I says, I don't know who you're trying to kid, because I don't know anybody that's fond of the smelling ass shit you selling.
Or fondling. Freaking smells that bad. You walk away.
Too. It's like, hey, man, you're like, I got this new date with this hottest chick ever, man. I want to get into a big fondling session. Which block do you recommend to set the mood? Yeah. I could just see you pull a block of that out. She'd be like, what are you doing? Well, I thought we'd get fresh. I'm not with that shit, you're not.
Toolbox says there's a little bit of everything going across the block. He says there's more pickup trucks this time. Well, pickup trucks are hot, man. I mean, there's something that people are getting into a lot. And the really cool thing about pickup trucks is they're probably going to end up start pulling in more money than the cars are, because pickup trucks are hard to find when they get old, because they're work vehicles. So everybody used and abused and threw them away. So finding good bones to work with to restore them is not that easy, unless somebody ended up throwing it in a barn. So
yeah, most of them that got too old for the road ended up as farm trucks and had the living snot beat out of them until there wasn't left left.
Right, until they ended up in the junkyard with freaking like more Swiss cheese and a fucking cheese farm.
Oh, cool! Look at that shit. Now that's wild. Damn, why can't it be daylight?
What?
I don't remember which one. There's one of those old Fords like Bonnie and Clyde used to use when they were doing their bank robbery getaway.
5-window.
Yeah. I just passed one sitting here on the side of the road.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'm on a backwoods road right now. I'm taking a shortcut through the woods up into Casper, Wyoming to go up to Montana.
Well,
so I'm running through these little towns. It's like, man, you get off the beaten path. Some of the vehicles that you see.
Oh yeah, because again, it's off the beaten path. Not everybody runs past them all the time.
Every time I go out through here and see one with a for sale, so I'm like, okay, now all I need is a buddy with a car hauler or a flatbed. Yeah, pick this one up here, pick this one up here.
Do you know that friend with the flatbed? No, I'm not picking up a vehicle. Do you know that friend with a flatbed? Can you have him give me a call?
No. Yeah, I've actually had someone do that, because I do know someone that has a flatbed that runs his own company. I actually tried to set up a potential trailer situation, but we couldn't come to terms with timing and price, and then the guy decided, well, that's kind of far away. I don't really I found something else. You know, hey, whatever.
I kick myself every time because a while back I ran across a 49 Cadillac convertible. It's like a maroon red with a white leather interior and a white vinyl top. This car was sitting in a I guess it was like a garage with a studio apartment above it. And this place has been abandoned for a good 15, 20 years. We ended up we ended up getting a closer look at this vehicle, and some of the paperwork that was laying around this car, or just laying on top of surfaces. The newest stuff was from the mid 80s. The newest things that I could find dates on. So I'm assuming this car had been sitting in there since the mid 80s. And the thing was basically immaculate other than dust. Now, whether or not it had the V8 or the V16 in it, I'm not positive. Or it was V16 I think those had. Because there are some that had the bigger motor in them. I don't know, but like I said, there was no way, there was no address on the property. There was no way to get a hold of the last owner. And I was not in a position at that time to be able to make up a big fuss and a stink about, trying to find the owner, because the thing is as soon as somebody catches wind of what's there, somebody with more money is going to come in and be able to do what you're doing a lot faster because they've got the money to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, what I was looking to do at that point was to buy the property itself, because if it is truly actually abandoned and so nobody has paid taxes on it in a while, you can acquire the property if you want to put forth the legwork. And I didn't want to let anybody know what was in the property. I didn't even really want the property. I just wanted what was inside of it. And I kicked myself for not pushing that further because that car was sweet. I'll have to show you pictures of it later because I could actually go digging for them. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous car. And in fact, 3 out of the 4 tires still had air in them. But
yeah, I knew a guy once when over the homestead, what we call the homestead, where my dad grew up. It was my grandma and grandpaps, and a guy came in and bought the farm that my grandmother grew up in, which is at the head of the valley now, which was the top of the campground, because the whole farm got sold off into camp lots, so it became a big campground. He always knew it as a campground as a kid. But this guy from Texas, he was in the oil industry, and he had the biggest, baddest, whatever you want to call it. As a kid, I'd sit on the front porch, you see this guy come in running, sounds like instant drool factor.
Oh yeah.
And he'd drive him back and forth a few times, get bored with him, and he'd bring him up into the farm and park him in the barn, and he'd rent a car, fly back. So he had several from the 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way up to sitting in this barn. Well, he ended up dying. The place got sold, bought out by somebody else, and all these cars still in the barn. And when he was alive, every time he was in about every weekend, and he'd go out there and he'd fire every one of them up every weekend he was in. So up until he died, they were pretty much drivable condition. Sands, the clean up, and belts, hoses, to make it actual roadworthy that you may have to do.
All right.
A little minor shit, but
a lot better than just sitting.
Yeah. He might take him out drive because he had the one field that he kept mowed. So he'd pull it out of the barn, he'd drive it up to the end of the field to the woods, drive it back, park it again. And he just I'd ride my bike up there, just watch him run around the field. The coolest shit. So fast forward. Somebody bought the property, didn't know what the hell they had in there, didn't give a shit what the case was, and the damn barn collapsed on all of them.
Oh, no. That sucks.
Smash. Done. It's like, oh.
That does suck.
And it chapped me to, every time I'd go up, I'd stop because, I want to go fishing. Is it okay if I cross your field to go up here to the fishing hole? And I'd ask the guy and I had permission. He knew Granddad, because Granddad mowed his yard, while every week while the guy's gone. So the guy didn't The guy, when it comes time that you can drive, it's kind of like the Karate movie thing with Mr. Miyagi.
Right. With the yellow car.
The guy, I got my permit, but I'm ready to get my license, and then I lost my permit. Well, we're not going to charge you with this type of shit, but you're going on probation. You're going to go through this. When you're done with this, if you keep mind your P's and Q's, there'll be no record of anything, but you got to give your permit out. So that cost me a year till I get my permit and then go get my license again. Well, in that transitioning period to do all that bullshit, the guy died. So there went the idea of, hey, I'm going to get my license and go pick one of these cars and have an absolute chubby for the rest of my life. The guy died, and well, there went that dream. It's like, so you go up there and dream about the cars, and the idiot that bought it, you ask him, says, no, I don't want to sell none of them. They're not for sale. I bought them. They're mine. But you're not doing nothing with them. At least let us run them around the field, so then they'll go to shit. Nope, they're going to stay parked right there. That's money in the bank as far as I'm concerned, because one day they'd be worth a lot in junk. You can't be serious. Yes, sir, I am. When the price will go up and they'll be worth junk. They're old cars. They're all good steel. They'll be worth a lot of money for junk.
Not with a barn on top of them there.
Yeah, until the barn fell on them, and then he didn't get shit for them anyways. I point blank down. I mean, you need drug up there in the woods and bent over a stump, beat with a damn birch, oak staff or branch, whatever, or damn tree, whatever you want to call it. You about the most senseless retard I've heard in my life.
So chat has already beat us to the next segment. They're already asking what I'm drinking. So what is in the cup? And Mrs. Formula's already guessed it, only because she's a regular on the freaking channel. It is a Guinness. I drink. That's my luxury beer of choice. My El Cheapo beer of choice, which actually isn't that cheap either, is Yingling. Well, I'm either drinking one or the other. It's too chewy. I'm Irish, and actually my first beer ever was a Guinness. So everything else is too light. I've been drinking Guinness for years. Oh, so what do you got in the cup there, Chris?
Actually a light night. I got a half a bottle of green tea and a glass of water.
No coffee?
No coffee. Had coffee with breakfast this morning. I've already finished that long ago.
When was breakfast?
Oh God, when did we eat, dear? Between 9 and 10 this morning, I think, Central Time. 9 Central Time.
You have Deer with you, or is Deer on the phone?
No, she's at home.
Okay.
She's not allowed to go in the truck, and she got her job anyways.
Oh, spoily sports. All right, guys, this is where we ask you guys in the chat, what are you drinking tonight? Does not have to be alcoholic. You definitely have a very sensible choice of drink. Girlfriend is drinking what? Red Gatorade? Fruit punch berry Gatorade. I did have another cord over here, I thought. No, there it is. Just need to plug my phone in. All right, so girlfriend is drinking red berry something Gatorade. I forgot already. Now it was. People won't forget you.
Sounds dangerous.
What? What sounds dangerous? See you later. Where's Joe? Who's Joe? Oh, Toolbox is Joe. Okay. See you later, Toolbox. Michigan DY Misfit Mechanic is drinking tea. I see Grimm's drinking Bud Light. Sorry, will never get me to touch that. Not to mention it'll give me a massive freaking headache. I'm actually allergic to Bud. So is my mom, actually. There's something that they put in Budweiser products that no matter how little you drink, it's not like the next day gives you a headache, like a hangover. Like before you even finish the first beer, you will develop a massive headache. So definitely, you won't ever catch me drinking Budweiser. Ugh. Let's see. Mrs. Formula drinking water. Is she still having her issue where she has to drink water?
To a big degree, yes. You know, it's not as prevalent as it was, but she's still having some spasms with it.
Sorry to hear that.
That they got her on. Plus, she drinks a lot of water, anyways.
Well, water's better for you anyway.
Just naturally, God, like water again, water.
Well, we went actually because we can't stand the taste of the faucet water here. We actually went out and got one of those the big like water dispensers that you find in like, you know, actual like 9 to 5 freaking bore you to death office jobs.
Okay.
So we have one of those actual water dispensers in our kitchen. It's great though because if you want a cup of tea or like hot chocolate, there's no having to like fill up a cup, stick it in a microwave. You just go in there, hit the hot button, and there you go. Freaking immediately hot water. Makes it really good for that. So I got a stupid question. What do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to see on the channel this year? I don't know how many of you guys are in here that actually were from following my actual build series videos. I know that definitely I will have the cedar chest video I got to do. I got to finish that. It's actually sitting on my front porch. It's just too cold outside to put the veneer on it. And I don't have enough space inside really anywhere to actually have enough space to put the veneer on inside, at least where I'm living at the moment. But we got that to finish. I have I have another cedar chest to finish. I'm probably going to do the build video for this computer and then the customized version of this computer. I'm thinking about building a new desk for this area, and that's just like the non-car stuff. Speaking of, I need to find myself one of those vinyl plotters because I'm tired of trying to work with vinyl shops, and with the amount of stuff that I want to print out, it might be just better for me to buy my own and then start selling vinyls and stuff than it would be to sit here and keep working with these vinyl shops for the little stuff that I need. Especially when it comes to building the custom stuff for this computer. Because creating vinyl masks are a lot more detailed than trying to hand draw and then hand cut stuff. If you guys ever remember the jewelry cabinet that I did on my Instagram, just the tree on the one side of the door for that jewelry cabinet took forever to cut out. And a vinyl plotter could do it within minutes. But the car stuff, though, we got the Nova to get in the shop. I don't know how many people are actually looking forward to that. I know I am. I want to see that car back on the road. Got the Trans Am to button up and get driving.
I can vouch for both of them, being that I've had and have both.
What?
The Nova and the TA.
Well, the Nova is going to get a modern power plant, and that all depends on what I can afford when I end up going to go get it. Minimum, I want a 6.0. Whether that's iron block or the aluminum block. Most likely it'll probably be an iron block 6.0. And the ultimate would be an LSA out of like a Cadillac or a Camaro. And still doing that nose down, ass up, classic drag race look. Yeah, big fatty tires in the back.
They just look best that way. I don't give a shit what anybody said.
I know. I don't want. I know
the actual body lines accent that look.
Especially with my Nova. And I mean, I have friends that have them where they have the big fat tires in it and they have it tucked up into the fender and stuff like that. I just like the look of that seeing that full tire in that opening. And then with little tiny pencil tires in the front.
Yeah, I mean, just give the appearance the thing's going to launch on the back tires and lift the whole front end in the air.
Well, with 700 horsepower from an LSA stock, yeah, it might possibly can do that. You know, I mean, I know cars with a hell of a lot less horsepower that can lift the front end up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why it wouldn't be able to.
It's all about getting the traction on the ground.
See you later, DIY. Hopefully see you back next week. Same time, same place. 9 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. Wife has a Cricut machine to cut out vinyl. But the problem with the Cricuts, I do believe, is they're patterns only. You can't create your own design and have them cut it out. I think you have cartridges that have pre-designated machines, I think, maybe, possibly. But again, the thing is if I'm using somebody else, it's a lot harder for me to be able to come up with something quickly, print it out, and apply it. Because when you work with a company, you got to wait for them to get it done. And so there's a lot of downtime from the time that you come up with a concept to the time you have an actual legit material object in your hands you can work with.
Oh yeah, she's reading my mind. I was going to ask her what the hell cutter she just got one last. I think it was last year.
The cameos. The cameos are ones that I was looking at. There was another one that I was looking at. What the hell was that one called? But that one was only like $250 for a 28-inch. And that's what I know that they come in like 14, 28, 30 something, and then they get even bigger than that. But again, I don't have a whole crap ton of money, so I was hoping to find one used. But I was having trouble finding one. Everybody always wants a freaking arm and a leg for them. I'm sorry, but once something's used, that should be, you know what I mean?
Isn't it that way with about anything, though?
Yeah, anymore. Every time you freaking get something, if it's freaking used, they think that they're going to be able to get the same freaking price for.
It doesn't matter whether it's parts for a car or a machine or you know whatever.
What the hell was it?
I mean, I shit you not. I saw an ad the other day. Somebody's trying to sell a keyboard. You know how they used to have the. I don't know if it was the IBM style plug, but that little round mini plug.
Yeah, the ones
like
that
the six post or whatever.
Computers carry them all. But most of them don't use them anymore. Use a USB port now.
Yeah, but there was some. I seen an ad. Somebody's trying to sell one. They were asking $150 for it.
Oh,
in excellent condition. It's an antique. I said,
it depends. It depends. If it's a modern gaming computer keyboard, some of them are pretty freaking pricey. Mac stuff is expensive.
This was a used one of those old IBM plug stuff.
It definitely was old style. The one that I was looking at is a US cutter. But even them, they're still going for 250 plus used.
Oh, sweet Jesus, baby God, thank you.
I mean, here's one for $200 in Connecticut.
Port of entry is closed.
But yeah, I mean, for it to be worth it for me to pick it up, it would have to be under $200. And I need at least probably a 28 cutting surface, 28-inch cutting surface, because if I want to use it for anything automotive, I need it that big. And I want to do
that in Connecticut?
I just passed it. Where the fuck was it? This way.
Only reason I ask, I have a friend that lives up in Vermont
Woodstock
that comes down through Connecticut.
Yeah, Woodstock, Connecticut.
Multiple times a week. So arranging a ride for something relatively small might be possible.
Yeah, it's a MH871 MK2 vinyl cutter. It's $200, which is about $50 less than they are new. And this is a 30. No, never mind. This is a 34-inch cutter. So that one I think was closer to 300, 350 new. but I still can't afford $200 right now. $200 is what's going to cost me to freaking finish this computer. Actually, 240, I think. So, yeah, that's just a in the future deal. And I mean, unless something drops in my lap, which not many things just drop in my lap. Oh, we need to put this stupid what's in the cup away. There we go. But yeah, I know that there's a bunch of companies that make them, but again, it's finding one that's cheap enough that I can afford it, but not too cheap enough that it's not any use to me. Because I know, like I said, I see a lot of them pretty cheap, but they're all like the 14-inch. A lot of them are the ones that already have like the pre. I don't even know what to call them. You know, ones where they already have the pre-designs in them built in, and you know, like you just pick the designs you want and it pops them out. Not like custom drawn on the computer designs where you actually, you know, outline and design the whole cutout. But
Yeah,
the reason
pre-programmed and bank designs.
Right, I can't use those because most of the time 90% of the crap that they have is not of anything that's used to me.
Pick the cookie cutter design everybody has that's totally worthless. And you can't even wipe your butt with it.
Right, and then, like I said, like you've seen that that jewelry cabinet, that purple and black one that I did, right?
Yes.
They're all like gothic spiders and bats and stuff.
Yes.
There's a reason why that one hasn't been finished, because on the other door is around, I don't know, 500-600 bats coming out from like a cave entrance and flocking out of the cave entrance. Yeah, that door is 3 foot by 1.5 foot. You try cutting out all of them freaking little tiny ass bats on a piece of vinyl to be able to do that design on that door.
It'll give you a fine hatred for an X-Acto knife.
Yeah, there is. That's why this X-Acto knife is sitting up here and not being used.
Yeah. Besides the carpal tunnel syndrome effect,
Well,
by the time you do get, you know, what, a quarter of a cut?
Well, I mean, like, let's see if I can pull that up. I did the one on the other door, which was just an old tree with like three big bats hanging out of it. And that took me like an hour and a half. That took me about an hour and a half to print out. I mean to cut out. And that was nowhere near. And I had already started cutting. Why is that not backspacing? Let me guess, my keyboard died. That took me. Well, no, I should know because I just literally. Oh, the computer was fucking lagging that badly. Fucking stupid computer.
Dynamite it.
What? Well, I can't dynamite it until I have this one built. So if somebody wants to bring me some Amazon cash or something, you know.
I do have one question.
What?
When you finally do get the new one built and online and operational, is there a slim possibility we could see a Tannerite episode with the old one?
No,
kind of like Go Car Guy's car, just to toast it.
Well, I mean, I don't have access to Tannerite. I also don't have an access to a place where I can explode something. So, I mean, unless I'm going to go to Canada and go visit Jason.
Sounds like a good excuse for a road trip to me.
I mean, there might be a big sledgehammer episode. Because this computer ain't worth a thing.
You'll have to get you some of the red caps like you used to put in the little cap guns when we were kids. You know, put a few rolls of them in there to pop.
All right, so yeah, I have.
Remember doing that on a cement block with, you know, put 2 rolls of them together and grab a hammer out of Dad's toolbox. You know, you thought you were bad shit because you were exploding the cement block because it went everywhere and had a big bang. Of course, you were too young and dumb to understand that you were hitting a useless concrete block with a hammer and shattering it naturally.
Right.
Hey, your kids, who cares, right?
Right. All right. So I have up on the screen. I have This was the tree that I did with the bats hanging out of it. Again, that's like I said, that's a 3-foot door, like 2.5, 3 foot by like 1.5 feet. And if I go, yeah, that was cutting it all out.
West 4th Street.
And that took forever to cut out. I must have spent like a day and a half, not all at once, but it took me a day and a half of drawing it out and then coming back and cutting it out. That's just a picture of my car. Let's see. Where is, oh, there's the bats. You see that one next to it? That's all the bats that I would have to freaking cut out. And
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
That just sucks. And the problem is I was cutting them out, but I wasn't able to, like, the detail wasn't there that I wanted. So they just kind of look like blobs. And I didn't like it.
Take a Sharpie marker and just sit there and hit the paper repeatedly, making dots, right?
Yeah, it was just frustrating. And so I ended up stopping it. And I just got tired of it and I didn't do it. Because it just took too long. I didn't like the way it looked, and I started trying to get in contact with people that had vinyl shops that could cut it out for me. But the problem is coming up with the software for the image to be able to send them that they can then make a nice, good, clean image out of it. And again, my computer, when trying to plot all of these bats, when I blew it up to full size, my computer was not liking it. Again, running into hardware issues with the computer and running into the limitations of what the computer could handle.
Turn left on West 4th Street.
Yeah, Miss Foreign, I'll have to do what I got early for my birthday.
Continue on US 26.
Ouch.
When you accidentally kick yourself out of your own live stream. my back.
You're not supposed to do that.
I closed the wrong window. I meant to close the Instagram window, and I closed myself. Oh. Yeah, you're not supposed to close it. You're not supposed to exit out of your own live stream. I'm just lucky it was still recording and it was still sending it out.
That would have been interesting.
I got unceremoniously ejected out of my own live stream. You are the weakest link. Oh my God.
That's where you need that little disclaimer video, like picture to come up to say, we interrupt this programming for you to go refresh your refreshments. Followed by, we resume regular programming within a minute.
You just need that freaking those colored bars with a beep where it says we are having technical difficulties.
Yeah. Be like that one they had I think it was last week or the week before the one football game. Yeah, we're having temporary difficulties. We have a referee's timeout on the field, and everyone's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And they said, "Oh, well, the cable cam dropped and fell out of the sky and landed on the field behind the player."
Oh man, that would have been sucking. Miss Formula says most should be able to read SVG designs. Yes, but the problem is my Inkscape that I use to create those designs. Computer decided it did not like doing it. When I got to that many bats and that many little pinpoints, because unlike like the big images I do with like the Nova and including the one that's on the back of this shirt, which is the truck one, there's not a whole lot of data plot points in those. They're pretty simple as far as the outlines, but those bats were really detailed, and especially when there was like probably like 500 to 600 bats on that page. Yeah, my computer didn't like trying to keep track of all those little data points, and it ran out of space. and started locking up and shutting down the program. So yeah, again, like I said, still having issues with performance with this old computer. I mean, it's not like I don't have the equipment. You know, I have drawing tablets and things like that, you know, to be able to do it. It's just I don't have the hardware to be able to do it. And again, is it also a big difference between doing it yourself and having the machine there to print out the design right there to find out if you need to change or alter something versus doing the design, sending it out, waiting for them to cut it, send it back to you, paying for it,
and then finding out it's wrong.
And then finding out it's wrong and having to freaking adjust it and do it all over again versus if I have the machine right here, the worst I did was waste the time for it to cut out the print and wasting the vinyl that it printed it on. You know, it's going to take like freaking 10, 15, 20 minutes to cut out the design versus, you know, I mean, the turnaround and downtime is a lot less if I have one of those machines on hand than it is.
And the beauty of it, if you do something wrong with the first cutout, you ain't got to throw it away. You can always find a use for it on something else later.
Right. And the other thing is then I can do things like window decals for my own cars. Because I'm not sure if you've ever priced having like custom 2 or 3 color vinyl designs. It gets expensive.
Oh man, are you forgetting I got 4 race cars?
Yeah. Versus being able to
the headaches of doing vinyl. Yeah, hey, go price a wrap for a car now with all the shit you got out.
You're looking at like $2 or $3 grand.
Yeah, the last wrap that I designed the way I told them what I wanted and they designed it.
All right.
But the last wrap I did the way I wanted when we finally got done was gonna be about $3,800. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
It would have looked awesome as hell, but
versus being able to do it yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about a 28 to 38 inch. You can pretty much do any multi-layered graphic you want. You can't do a full car graphic because you need one that's like the full width of a full roll of vinyl, which is that's 5 feet. I think those rolls come in 5 feet, the biggest ones.
I believe so.
So, you know, to be able to cut out one that's 5 foot tall, obviously you need a 60-inch cutter. But most cars, you could probably get away with multiple pieces of graphic off of a 28 to 30 some inch long cutter, I would think. What's up, Michigan? Glad to see you popping in. Oh, had a cat nap, huh?
Hello, pilot.
Oh, wait. There's a pilot? Where's the pilot?
Mechanic. Oh,
Michigan,
wrong
not
one.
pilot. Yeah,
Yeah.
wrong one. I think pilot's too busy watching the football game. So if somebody knows when the football game's going to be over, it will probably be when we see him if we're still
football
on.
Game was over an hour ago. Green Bay lost.
Oh, well then, damn.
He's probably suffering in his beer, crying about it.
He could be. Where's he from? He's from up north, isn't he?
Yeah, he lives right there around Milwaukee, somewhere outside Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, so it was his team that lost.
His team that lost, yeah.
Oh, well, that sucks.
I mean, they weren't even in it. They didn't score any points at all in the first half of the game.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's a big burn.
It was ugly. It was ugly.
Oh.
Kind of the old Flints turnover battle wins the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Rogers gave up the ball 3 times.
Yeah. So I got a stupid question. If you were to pick any chassis and any engine combination, by chassis I mean, you know, whether it be a car or whatever, what would your ideal engine and chassis combination be?
Oh.
Money is no object.
Intended use? Yeah, are we looking like a tow vehicle?
Whatever. It's
just a hot rod matter?
If you were to build a vehicle that you wanted, that money was no object, what body or chassis and what engine combination? What drivetrain? Do you need to give me a minute? Do you know I need to give you a minute?
If I was gonna build something, let's say something sporty,
Okay.
to run around. I'd trust to get away from a second gen Firebird. I'll admit it.
Okay.
I'm not
and what
sure
would you stuff
what
under the
year,
hood?
but it'd have to be some sort of an all-wheel drivetrain.
Now I got a question. If you don't know what year, can you at least decide whether or not it would be the flat glass or the wraparound glass? Which one's your favorite?
Yeah, it's a toss-up. I like them both.
So do I. I like the earlier style. Or go ahead.
I'd probably lean to the wraparound to a degree if you could find one that had the original louver set that they made for them, because they just look fucking badass with the louvers on the back.
Let me tell you this. I have, if I can come up with the money, I have a classic louver set tracked down. I just need to come up with the money. But like I said, I just don't have the money for it right now. But I know somebody that has a set that's holding them for me. Because that is what's going on my TA. I will not put any other louver sets than the classic Kragers.
Yeah, because some of that they're pretty much
the newer stuff. The newer stuff that's made out of the plastic. It has the same look, but the plastic is too thick.
Yeah, it looks gay.
It looks from a distance. It looks right, but when you get up close, it doesn't. And then they have the center aluminum section ones that are flat in the center, and then they have that other weird design on the sides of them. I don't like those either. That's almost like they took the flat back glass louvers and then they just added stuff to the side to make it wrap around. I don't like those either. It has to be the wraparound Kragers, but they're so hard to find.
Yeah, I could go either way. I could either do that or I could do some sort of a truck, lowered all-wheel drive. The biggest, baddest damn engine you could find, which I'm not sure what engine-wise would be the hard choice, whether to go.
Yeah, because if you go with diesel, if you go with one of the diesels, they're pretty much all freaking pretty badass. You've got the Chevy diesels are pretty good. You got the Cummins, which, oh my God, you can't go wrong with a Cummins. And then whatever the fucking one Ford has. I don't know, the Power Stroke. The Power Stroke.
Yeah, the Power Strokes.
Diesel engine is a diesel engine. It's fucking going to kick ass either way. As long as you don't beat the shit out of them, and you can pretty much put a decent sized turbo on them, and they're just going to romp. Gas engines, on the other hand, obviously there's a big difference between crappy and balls and walls. But then again, are you going to build an older chassis, or are you going to pick one of these new trucks? I'd love to stuff the interior and all of the fucking creature comforts of a new truck into one of those, basically the double cabs from the 80s.
Yeah, the original crew cabs.
Yeah, but the ones that actually had the double doors, not the slide the seat forward and try to wedge your ass back there kind of cab.
Yeah, full crew cab. Basically the ones that the State Department run.
Yeah. That would be a fucking awesome lifted, big tires, freaking running a modern drive chain and an interior. Be fucking awesome. Michigan just got done. Did lower intake on a Buick Century today. Everything went really smooth until I started smelling gas. Blew out of line probably when it was priming. Book time is 6 hours. Got to work at 10:30 a.m. and had it apart by 11:45. Back together by 1, which would be all great and good as long as you didn't have the gas problem. Oh, that's a good thing about flat rate, man.
Simplest of jobs just screws you.
Yep. Oh my God, I can make freaking bank on this job. It's gonna take me no time. Freaking 2 hours over freaking book time later.
Yeah, you're that bolt that breaks or
you're questioning
whatever.
life itself, and Looking at your paycheck getting worse and worse.
Throwing your wrenches at it, says, "Come on now, damn it! That's hard."
I think your better half is hinting at something. She said she'd like to see the street legal project finished up.
Yeah.
But see, this is why we were not talking about true life freaking reality freaking build, because that's the whole point we're trying to get away from.
I mean, I will agree with her there. I mean, I would love to do that street legal project in an all-wheel design for a drivetrain, but it just sits too low to the ground.
All right. I mean, honestly, let's see. My Nova, I'd love to get that LSA and get that thing done, do the whole freaking all the body work, back half the back of the car, get it sitting the way it wanted it, with that mean ass freaking, nose down rake. The TA, classic freaking lines, probably go with some modern custom wheel flares and front splitter and stuff like that. Because I mean, you got to admit, after working with these cars long enough, those splitters and flarings and stuff, they're really, really cheesy. I mean, they worked just fine, but like when you work on them close up, that was some really, really botched together shit. I mean, there's so many little tiny metal pieces in the front of my freaking car to freaking block off the air that they could have designed so much better, if they would have actually made stuff dedicated to that body instead of like an afterthought. It was almost like, oh, wait, we need to plug up this spot. Oh, wait, we need to plug up that spot. And they made like a new piece for every spot that needed to be plugged up instead of just one big piece. But that car, I want to put a 455 Butler fuel injected block in there. Well, actually, it wouldn't be a 455 at that point. What is it, a 462? Because they bore and stroke their 455s.
Depending who you have do it. If you do it all yourself, yeah.
No, Butler has. You can take a 455 block, you send it out to Butler, they bore and stroke it, and then they have a whole kit with aluminum cylinder heads, obviously a modern intake, and you get a fuel injected, kind of like the fuel tech or the basically it's a fuel injected throttle body that sits where the carburetor does. Kind of like what I wanted to do originally with it. So you can still fit your shaker on top of it. And with the shaker on it and classic valve covers on it, it looks like a stock block. So that's 600-700 horsepower on 22 to 24 miles to the gallon pump gas with a motor that looks like it's from the 1970s.
Yeah.
With the blower on it. Obviously, you take that blower off, and you're going to see the modern stuff underneath of it. But yeah, they have it so that way it all hides underneath of the blower, so you can't see it. But all the rotating assembly, the accessories, and all that stuff still have that classic look to it, and the block still has that classic look to it. So from the outside, it just looks like an old school block, even though everything internal is modern. Modern cylinder heads with better flowing capabilities. Basically all new guts on the inside. Ooh, but that motor's pretty penny.
If we're gonna go wild and extreme thoughts, with money not being an object,
I told you, no money's not an object.
Biggest automotive rotary engine you could get with a blower and turbocharged.
Okay. In what? And by rotary, you mean like Mazda's rotary?
Yes.
Okay. They have a new design for that. They had a new design for
one of the race cars. Take one of the race cars and make it a street legal.
Now, you know what the awesome thing about those rotaries is when you start stacking them together. When you have 2 or 3 of those stacked together in line, That's when you start making some crazy power, because they don't have an RPM limit.
Yeah, they just keep winding.
Right. So if you're stacking a few of them together, just think about all of that power. So,
Yeah, I know my buddy that's the street legal sprint car in Washington. When he's in the army over in Germany, they used to race, and they took a Volkswagen Beetle and stuffed the Porsche engine in it. Was racing that.
oh my
and
God.
They ended up wrecking it. So they took I think it was a Volkswagen Rabbit or something, some little damn ass car. I mean, the car weighed like 1,500 pounds, and they put one of them rotary motors in it. It's all good and fine down the front stretch. Made the first corner, the second corner, come down the back stretch, got to the third corner. Guess what?
Boom.
When they let out of it, it didn't slow down like a modern V8 race engine because there's no back pressure.
Right.
And they promptly stuffed it into the wall.
Oh. Yeah, you gotta have to drive them a little differently.
Yeah, so said engine come out, went into them. They went back that week and they rebuilt it in the back of the motor pool, built a new race car to some stuff in that.
Michigan Mechanic says bullet full rotor build sounded nice. Yeah, that's what I said. I've seen multiple of them stuffed together, and they just get nastier and nastier every time you throw another freaking block on it.
I think the wildest thing I've seen with that engine was at a tractor pull one time. Actually,
no, the sad thing is it's just a matter of keeping that that flat, the seal, from failing. And the thing is it's also not very emissions friendly.
No.
They did create a newer version of that. They did try to pitch it to Mazda to see if they would come back with a rotary, and it just doesn't meet EPA standards enough for them to bring it back. But it was definitely a better design than the original one, which is it's a shame, because it is a it is an epic engine, and it does not get the credit that it is deserved.
Yeah, because you had unlimited power.
Yeah, it's just a matter of keeping it together. I mean, that's the hardest thing, is keeping it together, and making sure that seal stays good. And I think the problem was they were making seals that were good enough, but the problem is the cost of making those seals outweighed the benefits. I mean, they can make seals that were like 2 or 3 piece. But the cost efficiency of making those seals was not worth making a production piece. It just cost too much to make them.
Yeah, there wasn't enough demand for them to make it worthwhile.
Right.
I can't find the video now. I see the video on YouTube one time where somebody took a rotary and they stuffed it in a vat.
No, there's all kinds of wicked combinations. I mean, I originally when I bought my Nova, I wanted to stuff a Viper motor in it.
Oh. Now there's an underrated motor as far as when people talk about like we are now, one that's
you don't see many people do those swaps though.
Yeah, they're really mentioned.
That engine's a pain in the ass. I mean, it is. The V10 from Dodge is a pain in the ass. It can make a shit ton of power, but again, the thing is it's not actually that big of an engine. I mean, when you think about it, it's 500 cubic inches. It's 500 cubic inches, but 500 cubic inches over 10 cylinders. This is not a very big. Like those cylinders are not very big. I mean, geez, I had the same size engine. I had a 500 cubic inch Cadillac. I could fit my thighs in this engine.
Yeah.
I could stand inside the cylinder walls of this engine.
Big torque.
Oh yeah, it would have just ripped the tires off. And that's what I originally went to. I had the Cadillac 500 engine that was originally going to be in that Nova. Actually, no, originally the Caddy engine, I wanted to find an El Camino. and I wanted to reverse mount the engine in the bed of the El Camino. So basically stick this engine in backwards in the bed of the El Camino and use a basically almost like a boat drive system to drop the basically like a 4-wheel drive system to drop the drive shafts down so that way it would be 4-wheel drive and I was going to lift it. So basically it would have been a fucking monster truck. I mean, point blank and simple. But I was going to make it so that way I could put the cap on the back half of the El Camino, and the exhaust would come out the windows of the cab. And
limo tinted, of course, so nobody. I mean, they can see pipes out, but they couldn't see into.
Well, it wouldn't have been. It would not have been a daily driver vehicle. It would have been a fun toy. And obviously, you would be able to take the cap off of it, to showing it off and all of that. But basically, there wouldn't be a bed in that car. It'd be all engine. But I thought that was my design when I was a kid. That's what I wanted to build. Maybe I'll build it someday. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, I actually I had a chance to get 500 Cadillac last summer for $100 in Gettysburg.
Well, I no longer have that engine. It went away with almost everything else that I owned at that time.
Yeah.
So that kind of went out the window a long time ago. And the thing is those heads on that engine were already done. They were already had the one piece rocker shaft.
All right.
I had from what is it? It's
PRW or somebody.
Is it no, not PRW? Was it Cadillac something? I don't remember the name of the company anymore, but it's basically like Butler Performance for Cadillacs.
Okay.
That's all they dealt with was the big Cadillac engines. I want to say COD, but it's not COD. It's fuck. What was the name of that? Now you're gonna have me. Now I'm gonna have to go look it up.
Diego's our best friend.
Oh my God, Ben! Oh, Ben, huh? Oh, okay, man. Oh, you were warning me. You're pointing right out.
Caddy500parts.com is the name of the website, and it is called CAD. CAD company. Let's see.
I Miss Formula had fun yesterday. She had to go play with our V10.
All right. Where is the whole engine kits and bearings? It's budget. Where's their big boy builds? But anyway, they basically bore and stroke these engines out, and they can make 1,800 horsepower. No, 1,800 foot-pounds of torque on pump gas. No turbo, no supercharger. Huh?
What are they getting out of them? They're cubic inch.
Let's see.
I mean, hell, 1,800 foot-pound of torque's the same thing my diesel makes in my truck.
Yeah. 120 over bore size.
Phew. Are they straight born, or they cut it and sleeve it?
Single replacement pistons available in 3,000s, 4,000s, 6,000s, 8,000s, 10,000s, and 12,000s oversize.
Holy Christ.
Dude, let's see if, yeah.
Martha.
They freaking, oh my God, have you ever seen some of these engines run? I mean, you're talking you're gonna feel the floor freaking rock. I mean, the biggest problem they had was keeping the stock ones. The biggest problem they had was keeping the valve train together. That was their biggest problem. Let's see, Complete Motors. Where is their balls to the walls? Online catalog. I don't even know if they're still into business anymore. But they're out of New Mexico.
Albuquerque?
Yep, Albuquerque, New Mexico. But this website looks old as shit.
It's the largest city.
This email looks old as shit. I wouldn't be surprised if they're no longer in business.
Google's our friend. I almost tell you anything.
Who?
Google.
Oh, Google.
Google it. Giggle.
I did. That's how I found this site. But I think this webpage is old as fuck.
They can find damn near anything. Kind of makes you laugh when everybody's like, you want to know something? Yahoo!
Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. Email, that's it.
Just a simple moonshine. Normal, everyday, ordinary moonshine. But in NOVAtazz, everybody's seen it. Nobody goes farther away. Really slow.
See, that's still coming back to that same freaking website that's freaking old. I don't know. I don't know if they still exist. They may be dead away with the fact of everything being the newer stuff. You know what I mean?
Or change your name. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Restructured, whatever.
There it is. It's MTS is the company that I actually know. It's Maximum Torque Specialist. But then again, I'm not seeing them either.
Of course, there's another easy test too. Try to reply to the email.
Yeah, I could, but I'm not going to do that right now. Let's see. Oh, maybe they might have changed their names. Yeah, this site looks a lot newer. I think that's what it is. I think they changed their names. Maximum MTS, Maximum Torque Specialist. Oh no, these are from New Building, Illinois.
Do they have a company
So it might be
out
different
there?
companies.
Say you want an engine to make this much power. Is there a company out there that makes an engine as a kit form, where they ship it to you and you assemble it yourself?
This one does. I'm pretty sure. Engine kits. I'm seeing a bunch of individual part kits. I'm not seeing actual full engine rebuild kits.
Cool. Right. So we need a computer. Where was the security computer around? Was it upstairs? It was upstairs, right? Upstairs?
But I don't know. It's been a while since I even looked at any of this stuff because of the fact that I no longer have the engine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Twofold reason. One, you don't have that engine. Two, you don't have the money to build it. Even if you did and looked at stuff like that, just gives you a dream part on, then leaves you in tears.
Right.
You know, you can't eat it anyway.
They do have, they said here, turnkey long block builds plus. Please call for pricing and ordering. Basically, they can rebuild the whole thing. I guess depending on what you want to use it for. All the way up to 9.8 to 1 cast pistons. But yeah, they're not giving actual any prices for full builds. Short block builds, 120 cc chambered heads at 8.5 to 1 compression for the Cadillac 500s. Complete 500 cubic inch head bolt kits, one-piece stainless steel horsepower valves, spring kits, valve jobs, spring pressure, cut valve guides. Yeah, I mean, they have it here. I just don't see any prices.
Yeah, but like anything, they pretty much force you to call them to ask any questions.
Well, yeah, because there's too many variables when it comes to engine buildings.
What's your intended application? You know, are you going to be on the street more, or on the track, or street strip, road course, drag strip, straight oval? You know, rally cross. Do you need quick torque out of the corner, or do you need long straightaway speed?
They have twin turbo kits for these engines.
Holy Christ!
For the 420, 472 and 500 big block T4 twin turbo header manifolds. Here's a 12-piece twin turbo charger manifold kit.
The hell size millimeter turbos are they using, or is it unlimited?
I'm looking. I literally have not looked at any of this shit in forever. Where's the turbo? Seeing all the parts but the turbos themselves, it may be provide your own turbos. It's not telling me what size turbos are on here. Oh, there's a Pro Chargers. That's a Pro Charger build. That's a turbo. Single turbo kits. And that is... it's giving me a bunch of information I don't understand because I'm not into turbos. You know what I mean? I don't understand what the sizes are.
Yeah, your millimeters based on the size of your kind of like
it's got different. It says turbocharger specs. Oh, it's a 38 millimeter turbo. It's a 38 millimeter turbo wastegate. That's not the turbo itself. It's a GT45 turbocharger. I don't know how big that is, so I guess 45 millimeter, maybe.
Probably.
I just wish that they would have told me on the twin turbo one. 2 super upgraded turbo T3 flange, 1 set of stainless steel manifolds, oil feed line, stainless steel hole braided for heat pressure resistance, fitting inner diameter, CNC machine turbo adapter plate, brass fittings, block fittings, port cover included for T3, T4, 5-volt stainless. Made in high quality T3 or 4 mild steel durability, prevents warping due to heat. 5-volt is it's nothing to do with the actual chargers themselves. Release heat discharge sound 40 millimeter, anodized valve, high boost pressure holds up 30 psi. Type S or Type RS dump pipe flange, high quality stainless steel. Includes 2 turbocharger kit, 1 turbo manifold, 2 oil feed line kit, 2 drain line kit, 1 blower, 1 blow off valve kit, 1 blow off valve flange pipe. Yeah, it doesn't tell me the size of the freaking.
Huge.
I don't know. Let's see. Does it have a turbo? Turbo kits. Same page. Okay. That's not helping me. And it doesn't have just turbos. Oh. But yeah, so it's, I don't know. I haven't dabbled in Cadillac stuff and I don't know how long. And I think we bored everybody to death because I think we only got 3 viewers right now. So I think we might end it here. I mean, unless somebody's still in the chat that doesn't want us to leave yet and is finding our conversation interesting. Oh.
They should. It's engines. How do you go wrong with the engines?
I don't know. He comes on an automotive channel that deals with classic engine stuff, and we talk about engine stuff, and we scare everybody away. Talk about computer stuff, scare everybody away. See, you know what it is we're not talking about LS stuff. We're not talking about modern engine stuffs and well, we were even talking about turbos
and superchargers.
Well, superchargers are my thing. Turbos are not. I mean, the Nova's not going turbocharged. It's going to get the big ass freaking supercharger on the front of it or on the top of it. You ever seen Qatarmageddon's Freedom Rocket?
About the whine of a fucking blower.
Yeah. Have you seen Qatarmageddon's ZL1's Freedom Rocket?
I think.
It's a 2013 Camaro ZL1, and he's got that freaking new big ass freaking blower on it with like the 60 millimeter freaking intake. It's got like a 60 millimeter intake. It's freaking cute. Let me see if I can pull that up again. Opening up a new tab, going back to Instagram. It's going to be easier for me to find it there than it is. But I mean, that's. I mean, I want the engine that's in that freaking car. You know what I mean? If I had to pick an engine, that's. Oh, it looks like American Bumper got a new car. It's 2008 RAV4 Limited. No. Go back.
Aluminum bad Mamba Jamba.
Let's go back to where he first got it. Here we go. Share screen. Chrome tab. Instagram. There we go. Boom. Look at the size of that thing.
Good grief.
Does he tell what it is? There's the twin turbo setup. See, there's both his setups right there. Twin turbo ZL1 on the top, and then the freaking supercharger on the bottom.
Yeah, blower looks nicer.
Though the twin turbo setup set the world record, he's still trying to. That twin turbo car is faster than the blower car by quite a bit.
Same engine?
Basically. I mean, one was a 2013, the other one's a 2017. I think this is when they first got it. Early up to Freedom Rocket goes on the dyno. Absolutely insane. No, that's not when they got it. It's a Magnuson. Thing's just insane. No, I don't think the block is stock. No, you know what? I lie. The block is not the same anymore. They went with a Texas Speed block because they blew the other one up. Not quite sure. Yeah, because there's the block there. That's the new block. But I forget what he built. It's been a while. I do believe it's the same style block. I think it might be the newer style, though, because it was able to hold more horsepower or something.
There's what, 6 years difference between them?
Yeah. I don't know. I know that they blew the old engine up, and he went and got the new engine, and then stuck the big blower on it. And it makes about 1,000 horsepower in its current configuration, I think. But he has trouble getting the power down to the ground. He can't get it to stick. So I'm sure that car might be faster, but the thing is the fact that he can't get the power down to the ground. When you can't get the power down to the ground, then you can't get the times. Whereas the twin turbo car doesn't make as much horsepower right off the get-go, so it's not going to blow the tires off of the line.
Yeah, they're easier to bring in stages than a blower. I mean, blower, you're pretty much right there.
Yeah, there it is. This is his time for the twin turbo car, I think. Yeah, this is the twin turbo car. Ran a 5.7 in the 8th mile at 129.92, and a 8.7 in the quarter mile at 161. And that car's got a full interior, a full stock interior. And it ran really, really good times.
Plastic and seat cushions.
Huh?
Plastic and seat cushions.
Well, the interior in those cars weighs like freaking 300 pounds. I mean, each seat weighs like 50, 60 pounds. But I mean, like the other car doesn't have, it's a gutted interior. This is the interior. This is the interior of the Freedom. I think it's the interior of the Freedom Rocket. I want to say this is the Freedom Rocket. That's the older car, which has no backseat in it. Full roll cage. They don't show the other stuff. Oh, but anyway, I think we're gonna get off of here and call it a night. And we'll catch you guys back here next week, same time, same place, 9 p.m. on a Sunday. So long. See you. Got anything to say, Chris?
Have a good night, everybody. A safe week ahead. And we'll see y'all next week.
All right. Catch you guys later.